Alright, start with a disclaimer. Going to be a mildly controversial video for two reasons. Number one, I'm going to talk about the journey of how two people got referred from 100x steps cohort, and it might feel like I'm selling something, but I'm just giving a very clear path. And number two, I'm going to introduce something about Super 30. Basically, some people can join by paying. That is also a little controversial, so I'll talk through that at the end. Without any further ado, that's the only disclaimer I wanted to give. Let's get right into it. I have prepared slides for this one. The video is titled How to Get a 1 lakh per month remote job. This comes from two people who recently got referred from 100x steps. I'm going to talk about their journey. Keshav and Joydeep. Keshav is in 4th year, lives in Hyderabad. He's placed in he's doing his internship. I think he's in college. So yeah, he's referred as an intern, $1,200 a month. That translates to like 1 lakh a month. Joydeep, he is 2022 graduate. He used to make 9,000 a month before this. He's from cohort 3 also. Placed in a US-based YC-backed startup. Again, a remote startup, $1,000 a month. He's full-time. He's an intern. Let's get right into it. The TLDR, what gets you a job in a remote job specifically, or in a startup or otherwise, is that you can provide them value on day zero. How can you show that you can provide value? Is that you have extremely solid projects. I will talk through a few of these projects that these guys built. Good design. This is something I sort of underrated for a while, but it is important, I feel now. The projects that you're building need to be clean. It could be a very complex project when it comes to the backend, but it needs to have a workable UI for the person to look at. Lot of projects in production. What is lot? I would say 5 to 10 projects is great, and extremely high motivation. You shouldn't be working in spurts. You should be very actionable for the next 1, 2, 3 months when you're trying to look for a job. 20% of getting a job is luck. I think there are a lot of smart people that don't get referred. There are a lot of dumb people who are able to make their way into a job. So it's very hard to optimize this. I've seen this multiple times. TopTal, even though it's such a big company that refers people from India to the US, they have a whole team that's able to find people. It's very hard to sift through talent. So 20% of it is always going to be luck. 50% I feel is going to be projects, at least in these companies, YC startups, otherwise US based startups. Projects are what they look for. They unfortunately look for no DSA. I would say zero DSA. I'll talk through their interview experiences. Neither of these two guys or the other people that we usually refer, or the ones that get jobs themselves also, are asked DSA. And avoiding red flags, I will talk through a few of these red flags as well. Hiring is a hard problem. This is one of the reasons we are building job board. If you want to contribute, feel free to hear. But again, I don't think a job board can solve this. As I said, I think there is always some manual intervention needed. HRs who are always finding talent. There are companies that are built around this because it's just hard to find talent in such a big talent pool. This comes from the Super 30 batch. This is our Slack, and I had like 4 or 5 opportunities I posted here, but all of these people, even though they're filtered people from cohort 1 and cohort 2, people who we felt like are decent-ish, and they just need the last leg. This is the 3rd day of Super 30. I posted 4 opportunities here. Rarely could I find one person who had the right set of projects here. Only one is finally getting referred. Everyone else is still needs to work a little bit before they can get referred. So this motivated this tweet of mine as well, which is, everyone has this right now. Everyone wants to do bare minimum, copy one project from one place, put it on GitHub. Extremely sporadic GitHub, just started, created a project, stopped. A lot of them have clone in the name of the repository itself. So it's like not too hard to create 3 to 5 unique projects that are good. They look nice. They are up and running. The backend is running. They're open source. The company can look at your code. And if you add something like a mobile app or a DevOps pipeline, it's even better. So the goal really is to build a lot of this. If you build a lot of this and throw it to my face, even if you are on YouTube or if you're in an online cohort, it's easy to refer you versus thousands of people who are, let's say, applying left, right, and center, but don't have the very bare minimum projects in there. How did these two folks differentiate? Let me quickly talk you through how their referrals happened. The first one is Joydeep. He had a Notion doc with 10 projects and pretty good projects out there. This is a link to the Notion doc. You can look at it yourself. But every project here is very easy. Okay, this is good. This is great. Even better, refer like that. Sunday during the live class, in every live class, we have a chat session at the end, or a doubt session where he just kept on spamming this Notion doc. I opened it and immediately he was like, okay, someplace he should get referred. And Monday itself he got referred. And Tuesday was his interview, 10-minute interview he got in. I am फ्रंट एंड डेवलपर फ्रॉम IIT फ्रॉम गुवाहाटी. ओके, कुछ मेरे प्रोजेक्ट्स मैं लिस्ट डाउन कर रहा हूँ. Wow, you have a lot of projects. Let's see. Sir, we should talk. We should definitely talk. Wow. Fucking A. Joydeep. Alrighty. Yup. I followed you. Message me. Let's talk. There's this company who's looking to hire front-end engineer. React expertise. I would hope. Wow, bro, this is pretty good. Like very fancy. Nice. I like it. Wow. Yeah. Pretty good. We need someone who has done some similar things in React Native as well. Like this, you're getting hired. But yeah, that's pretty good. Let's talk. Read more. Where to find? Wow, bruh. Pretty good. But I would assume, this is not the only thing you do. You understand React, general state management, things like these. And, you can code basic websites as well. Or, you can do other things that need to happen in a website as well. But yeah, if you've made these designs, then even better, that would be even more helpful. But yeah, pretty good. We should talk. Cool. We're out of Notion docs here. He used to make 9,000 rupees a month. So, I would call it a success story. And $1,000 a month or 1 lakh a month might feel like what? To some it might feel like a lot. To some others it might feel it's not a lot of money. But to a company in the US, it's definitely not a lot of money. When I told them he's available for, he told me he makes 9,000 rupees. Now it was really on me to decide a price. If I'm being honest, I could have pitched a little bit more here based on, his interview and the way he's working. I think 1,500 or 2,000, maybe not 2,000, but let's say $1,500 would have been literally nothing would have changed in his interview or anything else. But I thought he's making $9,000. This is like a 10x already. So this is the price that I quoted, and their response was, that's for 40 hours a week, question mark. It basically means, even they were skeptical. Okay, this seems like a little too good of a price. And it is for, a US based company for a, full-time, full stack engineer. Keshav, fourth year, currently in college, contributed heavily to app.100xsteps.com and projects.100xsteps.com. A lot of people are contributing here, but it's very easy to filter out, good contributions and bad. Specifically, his contributions were highly actionable. He completely changed the UI in both the places. He won like $500 in bounties from us as well. And then, again, was a very easy hire. This is some of his changes. You might feel like it's not a lot of commits, but as I said, these commits were highly actionable. UI changes, like completely revamping the UI. If you look at his CMS commit, this one literally changed the UI. The name itself is Major UI Revamp. So you get the idea. Number of commits don't matter as much as, how actionable the commit is. Offshoring will be a thing. If I'm being honest, it's already a thing. Or, that's the niche that we've found. It's the best niche for us to hire people or refer people, because it's not a TCS, which again is one very easy referral that we can probably make, but we don't go there. This is somewhere in the middle, which is you're still working for a US based company, but not through an intermediary. You're directly getting hired over there. The reason this is lucrative for a company is because one engineer in the US, let's say, is 150K, 200K, 120K, for which you can probably get like 4 engineers in India. It's a highly controversial topic. That people have various opinions on various YouTube videos about this. But, it is a thing. It is more optimal to hire people for, online jobs in third world countries. And that's a decent niche that we've found to, refer people. It's already a thing. It's not something like we are introducing. It's been going on for years. Most consulting companies work this way. Their clients are in the US. They charge them a lot of money for, and, pay a portion of that to employees in India. Engineers in India are looked down upon for substandard work. This is one thing I would like to change. I think the biggest argument that people have against hiring Indian engineers is bad communication skills or that they don't do good work. I think this basically comes from a lot of Upwork agencies in India that keep underpricing each other. So when that happens, a lot of them are pushing out substandard projects, so people just don't feel like hiring or interviewing. So we should change this. I can talk about a few things, how we can change this, but long story short, don't apply or don't pitch for a project unless you're, at a certain level. This is a comment from a YouTube video. This video was again around how AI is taking few jobs, and offshore engineers are doing the same. The comment was, the coders in India are terrible. Employers should prioritize quality employees over saving a few bucks. Probably someone from the US, which makes sense. This is one decent argument that people have. So what we have to change is our quality, and everything else is sorted. So as long as we can provide the same value, then there is no argument against offshoring. We should change this and be well equipped before applying. Don't apply if you just know bare minimum HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You will not be able to provide that value. Companies don't want, I want the cheapest employee. They want someone who can provide value. If they come at a less price, great. But they're always cautious. This feels so optimal, right? Why would someone hire someone for 200K when they can hire 10 people in India for 20K? But they don't do that because they're not looking, not every company's goal is to price down their engineering compensations, but they're looking for good value. So if you can provide that value at a lesser price, it's a win-win for everyone. And good communication skills is key. This comes from another, we were trying to refer people again to another person, and this was their feedback. They can code, but they need to understand business priorities. They need to understand what we're trying to build. So make sure, this is something that some people that work with me are really good at. Even without me saying, they can figure out the priorities. It's a learnable skill, but comes by building a lot of projects. If you've built 10 different types of projects, you will understand what the other person is talking about if you know a bunch of jargon. So, again, I would say building a lot of projects that are in production help here. This is a podcast we did recently. This person we did not refer. He got placed himself, but he told me his company is also, it's a US based company, but they've opened on site in Bangalore and, looking to hire engineers. So it's a common thing. It happens for years. Google has an office in India. A lot of startups do as well. Rippling has an office in India, for example. It's a win-win for everyone. That's why companies invest in it. That at the same time, the startups that we are referring people to, they don't have an India office. They're mostly remote jobs. Red flags that I talked about initially. Bad communication skills is one very easy put off. That's why, whenever, before referring anyone, I interview them and make sure they can at least talk in English. Awful design sense. Harkirat, I built a very good website, but, as soon as I opened it, it looked very bad. I closed it and, filtered you out. So make sure it doesn't matter how complex the backend is. The first thing that the recruiter is going to look at is your website. So make sure the UI is decent. It shouldn't be awful at the very least. Try to make sure it's, very pretty. Look at the examples from the Notion doc. Writing bad code, if someone throws their GitHub, now it's just, okay, has this, what I'm looking for is red flags. I know you've sent your GitHub, you know what GitHub is, you have 10 projects there. What I'm quickly trying to look for is, okay, has this person missed anything specific? Things like using JavaScript instead of TypeScript, or, committing node modules, which is a common mistake that people do. If their live projects have a 404, quickly filter and move on. So make sure, you have these bare minimum things sorted. It's like very obvious thing in hindsight. Make sure before you apply, you have all of these things sorted before you're sending your GitHub anywhere. And applying too early, which means, you don't know much right now. I learned HTML, CSS, let me quickly apply. You're just increasing the number of applications, which is a lose for everyone. Cool. Oh, wow, that was it. Seems like that was it. Super 30 is happening. It's happening on site in Noida. This is the office that we've taken. It's an 80-seater. 30 people we've already chosen. And this is high level what is happening. You should know what is happening before we proceed to the next section. Super 30 we're just building a lot of projects. There is a bare minimum sort of prerequisite that we expect. The person knows the Mun stack, can, create a Node.js Express backend, create a React frontend before they even, that's how we interviewed people. We had a pool of, 1,000, 2,000 applications. We took around 60 interviews. We chose the 30 people from it. So what we're doing is building projects. It's not a very, we're going to have classes. It's not very 0 to 1. The expectation is you have very basic Mun stack knowledge. Direct, what is happening over there is we have a Slack. There's a direct channel for me. If you have any question here, I'll answer. All projects that I feel can be productionized. There are 10 projects that we have picked and, groups of 3 that people are building them in. Goal is they're built the right way. If we want to sell this project tomorrow, we should be able to. It's deployed, all the internet scales, is working, has a decent UI. People can start to use it. Teams of 3 to 4. And if needed, advanced classes. For example, a team is building an authentication library similar to NextAuth. So for them, understanding how Auth0 works under the hood, that will be one class that we will take. Another team is building a sort of a execution thingy. For them, they need to understand, they don't need to have a extremely scalable backend, but that's the thing that you're learning here. How can you build a backend that scales, which has a very weird way of scaling. Things like these are the advanced classes that we are taking. There's a co-working space, call it a co-working space, events area, whatever, in Noida. It's very close to the metro. We've tried to keep it extremely accessible for all the people to join. There are TAs and reviewers, so whatever code you're writing, I will review it or other people will. As I said, these are meant to be projects that get used. So this isn't whatever. We expect you to write this code from scratch and write it well, and we'll make sure that it's a good project. Else whatever, either we're going to scream and shout at you or we're going to kick you out, whatever. These need to be good projects. And it's not like we have extremely high bar for the way you're writing code, but the obvious things you should take care of. Everything else we'll let you know.
All right, 2 callouts here. Number 1, don't get too overwhelmed also. People that are currently in Super 30 know basics of MERN stack. So as long as you can go through a MERN stack YouTube tutorial, or if you've gone through 0 to 1, you can create a backend and a front end, you should be fine.
And other than that, there are on-site classes, events. We tried this in Bangalore, was decently successful. So all these classes will now happen here in Noida. If you want to join, as I said, we have already chosen 30 people, and this is an 80-seater. We're probably going to take 30 more people if people are willing. This is going to get priced up. We want to see, how many people are willing to pay, if at all. And if no one pays or 2 people pay, in that case, we'll just refund them and we'll just move on with the 30 people. If let's say 30 people are able to fill the seats, then we'll have 30 people who joined for free and 30 people who pay for it. They'll pretty much end up paying for everything. It isn't a way to make money finally. If 30 people join, they'll just end up paying for the office and everything. This office is around 3.5 lakhs a month, maybe 4 with electricity and everything. So this will be like 12-13 lakh rupees for the 3 months plus a bunch of other expenses. The hope is these 30 people can pay for it. If not, that is fine, and we can take care of it as well. But that is the hope of these 30 seats. It's fairly experimental. This video, when I started recording, it was just the referrals. And then I thought, let's throw this out. We will see if it happens, great. If not, that is fine as well. We'll just continue with the 30 people. If you want to join, this is what is happening. If you have more questions, you can ask in Discord. But I don't want to, come and oversell. I really want this to, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, that is fine.
One quick call out, forgot to mention this, 15-day complete refund. If you feel like it's not working out for you, or even if we feel it's a little early for you at the moment, we won't be able to refer you after 3 months, then either party can call it. Don't feel any pressure that way. If you feel you don't like it or whatever, let us know. We might also let you know if things don't work out. Completely we'll refund the money, don't worry about it.
What are the projects we're building? High level, this is our architecture discussion the other day. So one of them, for example, is an opinions trading application. If you've seen Probo or if you've seen Polymarket, a website where people can come and trade based on opinions. And another example, for example, here is pump.co. They all have some extra mode. For example, here you need to understand AMMs if you're building it for Web3, or order books if you're building it for Web2. Here you need to understand cloud very well. If you're building it for AWS, you need to understand AWS. If you're building it for GCP, you need to understand GCP. So all of them will push you a lot. They're not simple CRUD applications. You don't need to know everything. Even I did not know how Pump works under the hood. I just knew it is a great product. And then, we're all trying to figure out how does Pump work under the hood? How can we replicate something similar? What are the business challenges here? What are the technical challenges over here? It is intense. I will make you work a lot. This was like a 2-hour call, and half of the people who were underprepared, I was very brutal to them. So long story short, this isn't very hand-holdy. I'm very polite in our live cohorts. If people don't understand, ask the question twice, I answer. Here, it won't happen. Here, the expectation is you are working a lot. And, whenever you're asking a question, it's a smart question. I like smart questions. But, dumb questions you should be able to figure out yourself, especially if this is happening on site. The hope isn't that you sit on my head 24/7 and ask me dumb questions. You should be able to figure those out yourselves, and otherwise, of course, we are here to help you out. 30% of the battle is making it. Trust me, anyone can build CRUD applications. This is slightly difficult to build, but 70% is productionizing it. When you really deploy it, does it work for one person? Does it work for 20 people? Does it work for 100,000 people? Keeping all of those challenges in mind, because some of these will be productionized and used for events or whatever. Some of these are like events applications. All of these we have a way to deploy, as in deploy on the business side. All of these we have a way to sell. The goal is, are you building it the right way? So that's a high level goal. Okay, whatever you're building is productionized. If you own everything, including the code, the CI/CD pipeline, the deployment, cloud, whatever, of course we'll pay for everything, but you need to own it like you would own it in a company. Well, that's pretty much it. Cool. I guess that was it. After this, you will see a podcast from Keshav and Joydeep. I just called them on a call right before this for like a 5-minute call. You'll probably see longer podcasts from them on the main 100x Steps channel, where we put all the people who get placed or referred. But after this, you will see 5-minute conversation where I just ask them, what did you learn? What is your journey? How can other people learn from it? They will also come. They both agreed to one session. I think Keshav is really good at UI and animations, so he'll come on site and take some of these sessions. That's a high level. You'll find extremely smart people in this co-working space. I'll do a bunch of Solana events, whatever. It'll be the space where we record a lot of our videos from events. It'll be the space where you'll find me most days of the week. If you want to, you should come. If you have a lot of money, you want it just as a co-working space, feel free to join as well. Probably not. The goal is hopefully that if you're joining, you're trying to build a project, you have a team of 3 people, so we don't want one person who's slacking. If you are that person, if you just want to join for the community or whatever, just let us know, so we're not teaming you up with motivated folks who are creating a project. Can you join online? You can. Should you? Probably not. Online and free both lead to lack of motivation. I've seen this many times. Even in Super 30, 1% already left within a week. And I'm seeing, how many hours people are putting in right now. And right now it's just started, people are still motivated. I know it'll go down. Versus an on-site, we can control all of these things. That's the reason for on-site. So yes, it is on-site, even though you can join online. You will probably not feel like you're getting a bang for the buck if you are joining online. And as I said, don't feel pressured at all. That always happens, even if this doesn't work out and if 30 people don't join, we'll just refund everyone and we'll continue the Super 30 batch with the original 30 people. If you want to be amongst the other 30 people, donation seats or whatever you want to call it, then you feel free to join. I will hopefully see a few of you in Noida, the ones that I don't see in Noida. Totally fine, I'll see you on YouTube or in the cohort. Next up, we're going to get into the podcast. Alright, 2 more call outs. Number 1, as soon as you buy from the link in the description, we'll add you to a Slack. You can figure out accommodations from there. So point number 2 was, if you are not from the Delhi NCR area, there's a PG right next to this venue, not right next to, like 1 kilometer from here. It's 10,000 rupees a month with food. So you can pair up with other people and find accommodation with them. If you are in the NCR region, the office is right next to the metro station, so you can just commute every day and walk to the office. If someone wants a similar path as yours, what do you think you did right? Let's start with Joydeep.
हाँ, तो मतलब जर्नी तो मतलब ऐसी थी कि मैंने जेई के लिए प्रिपेयर करा था, नहीं हुआ। एंड देन मैं कर रहा था बीसीए, तो फैमिली से सपोर्ट तो नहीं मिला, बट मेहनत करता गया। और हाँ, मतलब मेहनत ही करा है बस, और बाकी तो भगवान देख लिया, और आपके हेल्प से हो गया।
Got it. Makes sense. And थोड़ा actionably बता पाओगे कि क्या क्या चीज़ें सीखी, कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाए, and what helped there? What is your skill set?
तो मतलब स्किल्स में मतलब ऐसा था कि पहले से ही मतलब कि डिज़ाइनिंग वगैरह में इंटरेस्ट था, और क्योंकि मैं मतलब थोड़ा मतलब कि ड्राइंग वगैरह, आर्ट वगैरह करता था, तो वो सब में ऐसे ही मतलब इंटरेस्ट था मेरा। तो जब मैं इनिशियली क्या हुआ कि मैं पाइथन से स्टार्ट करा था, तो उसमें जब मैंने मतलब प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह बनाए, तो मेरे को लगा कि इसमें इंटरफेस का इशू है। तो तभी मतलब उतने रिसोर्सेज नहीं थे, मेरे को उतने सारी चीज़ें नहीं पता थी, लेकिन मेरे को पता था कि कुछ टीक इंटर एक है लाइब्रेरी जो मतलब GUI वगैरह उससे बनता है। तो वो मैं ट्राई किया, इंटरफेस अच्छे नहीं बने। फिर मेरे को पता चला HTML CSS के बारे में, तो उससे मैं उसको स्टार्ट किया, करते गया, थोड़ा मतलब इम्प्रूव हुआ, करते गया और इम्प्रूव हुआ। फिर अभी भी कर ही रहा हूँ और इम्प्रूव कर ही रहा हूँ मतलब, और वही वैसे ही। उसके बाद फिर जावास्क्रिप्ट, उसके बाद फिर रिएक्ट वगैरह करा। यही ऐसे ही चल रहा है अभी भी सीख रहा हूँ, अच्छा लग रहा है करने।
Nice. So React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, इतना आता है तुम्हें बस?
हाँ।
Got it. Perfect. काम कैसा चल रहा है? Do you like the workplace? कैसा सीन है? कितने दिन हो गए तुम्हें ज्वाइन किए?
अभी ऑलमोस्ट 1 वीक हो गए, और काम बहुत अच्छा है मतलब, और लोग भी बहुत अच्छे हैं, फ्री है, और बहुत मतलब हेल्पफुल भी है। कुछ डाउट वगैरह होता है तो उनसे पूछते हैं, फिर लाइक वो लोग सब मतलब क्लियर करते हैं, सब चिल है मतलब। और मतलब काम से भी खुश है, और वो लोग मतलब अप्रिशिएट भी करते हैं कि अच्छा हुआ है, ये है वैसा है। तो बहुत बढ़िया है मतलब एनवायरनमेंट।
गॉट इट। लास्ट क्वेश्चन, वर्क टाइमिंग क्या है?
एज सच मेरा तो कुछ वर्क टाइमिंग है नहीं, मतलब कोई
गॉट इट,
फिक्स
बट तुम
टाइमिंग नहीं
ज़्यादा।
है। मतलब टास्क
गॉट इट।
टास्क रहता है, हाँ टास्क रहता है और वो कंप्लीट करना होता है, और इवनिंग को अराउंड 7:30 के टाइम में उनको रिपोर्ट करता हूँ चीज़ें स्लैक पे। जस्ट ऐसे कैजुअल कन्वर्सेशन होता है, कभी कभी स्क्रीन शेयर करके मैं दिखा देता हूँ क्या क्या हुआ है क्या नहीं हुआ, ऐसा ही है। और ऐसे काम मैं मतलब सुबह करता हूँ जनरली।
गॉट इट। तो तुम्हारा ऐसा नहीं है कि रात को बहुत ज़्यादा लेट करना है ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं मतलब लेट हो ही जाता है, मतलब अभी देखो आप 12:30 बज ही गया मतलब।
गॉट इट, मेक सेंस। कूल मैन, दैट्स ऑल आई वांटेड टू आस्क। केशव, तुम्हारी बारी।
जी सो माई जर्नी स्टार्टेड विद वेब डेवलपमेंट। मुझे पहले से वेब डेवलपमेंट शौक था। तो बैक इन 10th ग्रेड आई लर्न HTML CSS जावास्क्रिप्ट, खुद से सीखा है। मेरे स्कूल में ऐसा कुछ फैसिलिटी था नहीं सिखाने का कोडिंग का। सो आई स्टार्टेड माई फ्रंट एंड योर वेब डेवलपमेंट जर्नी बैक इन माई 10th ग्रेड। उसके बाद ऑन एंड ऑफ चला है पूरा। एंड आई हैड किक टू डिज़ाइन स्टफ, वीडियो एडिटिंग सीखा, एनिमेशंस आता है मुझे, आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स कर सकता हूँ, ग्राफिक डिज़ाइनिंग। दोस्त के लिए थंबनेल्स बनाता था यूट्यूब के। सो ही हैड अ यूट्यूब गेमिंग चैनल बैक इन द डे। सो आई यूज्ड टू मेक थंबनेल्स फॉर हिम,
नाइस।
इंट्रोस बनाता था, एंड स्ट्रीम पैक जो रहता है ना स्ट्रीमिंग के लिए, वो सब बनाता था। सो आई हैड अ किक फॉर इन डिज़ाइनिंग बैक देन। उसके बाद आई मूव टू पाइथन, बिकॉज सब ने बोला था पाइथन सीख लो, पाइथन द टॉप थिंग है। So I started Python. I learned Pygame. I created a few indie games बनाए मैंने, Space Invaders का clone बनाया, and you know the other basic clones. After that I stopped coding for a while. JEE का preparation किया, उसमें नहीं निकला. Then I had to join a tier 3 college just for the degree. Then उसके बाद in my second year I guess I started learning React. React से मैंने पहले YouTube का clone बनाया. So I felt like I could do something better with the UI. So I started adding my UI. मुझे जो अच्छा लगता है वो ऐसा मैंने चेंजेस करते गया मैं. So I started adding my UI things to the app projects I was building, the clones I was building. So that was the one thing that was differentiating my project with the YouTube clones. Then उसके बाद I thought I need to do some professional certifications, because मेरे कॉलेज में there is no off campus placement का कोई सीन नहीं है. So there is no placements at all at my college right now. So I started doing the UI UX certification from Coursera, Google का. So मैंने 1 month के ले लिया उसको और स्पीड रन कर दिया, 2 weeks के अंदर मैंने कोर्स ख़त्म कर दिया. As soon as I finished that course, I stumbled across your video, Upwork का video. That was the first time I saw your video, and I don't know, it motivated me a lot. So I created a Upwork account. Then I started purchasing connects. I was applying for random jobs and gigs. कुछ मिले नहीं, I got rejected a lot. कईयों के reply भी नहीं मिले. But out of a sudden, a small designing agency from Switzerland, they replied back. They were like, we like your skills and we need a designer SS, and they told कि like we'll start at $500 per month. तो ठीक है, मैंने start कर दिया. I did there for a month, and वहाँ पे जो experience मिला, it was very valuable. They taught me how to design properly. हाँ, तो वहाँ पे अच्छा गया 1 month. देन आई वॉज लाइक अभी मेरे सेम्स आ रहे हैं, सो आई विल टेक अ 1 month ब्रेक. तो जो 1 month ब्रेक आया था, जो 1 month की सैलरी से मैंने आपका कोहोर्ट ले लिया. दैट वॉज लाइक माई फर्स्ट प्रॉपर इन्वेस्टमेंट इन योर कोहोर्ट, एंड दैट वॉज द बेस्ट डिसीजन आई मेड एवर. सो कोहोर्ट ले लिया मैंने. कोहोर्ट ले लेने के बाद 1 month एग्जाम्स के साथ आपका कोहोर्ट देख रहा था. आई वॉज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग. आई मेड दैट असाइनमेंट, द वॉलेट ऐप. इट couldn't reach you, so I spammed in the class, and it came across you, and you told me to get back to you. So उसके बाद I contributed to Daily Code, CMS, and we had a chat, we had a talk. Then you got back to me कि ऐसा job है. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Super cool. And how has your work been now? How has it changed? Are you working full time now? What was your internship, I guess?
Yeah, it's an internship. So अभी तो full time नहीं चल रहा. So we discussed at 30 hours per week, right? तो अभी यूजुअली एक अराउंड 9 o'clock रात में देयर इज अ स्टैंड अप मीटिंग, सो वी डिस्कस व्हाट एवर हैपन्स, जो भी किया है दिन में वो बात होती है. उसके बाद कुछ टास्क रहा तो इट्स अपनी मर्जी है, जब भी बेसिकली नेक्स्ट स्टैंड अप तक हमने क्या किया वो दिखाना है. एंड यूजुअली वी नीड टू स्टे ऑनलाइन टू रिप्लाई बैक टू the team.
Got it.
Chill है वैसे. It's been pretty chill and I'm enjoying the work.
Got it. Makes sense. You're very good at design. I saw that in CMS and Daily Code as well. So, do you have any resources? How did you learn? How did you learn Framer? How are you so good at it?
There are not really good resources, but I usually read the docs a lot. Documentation is like the best thing you could learn from. YouTube video ज़्यादा कुछ help नहीं कर पाती क्योंकि from a YouTube video the tutorial will the teacher he will explain उसको क्या समझा है. But if you read from the docs, you will learn how it is meant to be learned. So मैंने docs से पढ़ा है और practice करना पड़ता है बहुत. Framer एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो practice करने से you can master it. मुझे अभी भी कुछ नहीं आता है. I'm still learning a lot. जो भी मैंने CMS and Daily Code किया है, I was learning while I was doing that. So there's that.
Got it. Makes sense. Cool man. That's all the questions I had. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry मैंने तुम्हें इतनी late उठाया दोनों को.
नहीं I was अभी तो 3 बजे तक जागना है मुझे, अभी काम करना है. So and also I wanted to say this to you, but my dad has started coding, learning coding.
Damn.
ऐसा ये होने के बाद मेरे साथ हुआ आपके साथ. मैंने कोड का एक्सेस उनको दे दिया. अभी वो वेब डेव स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं क्योंकि मुझे अभी डेवऑप्स के बाद मुझे सीखना है क्योंकि डेवऑप्स तक मुझे आता है बैक एंड थोड़ा बहुत. सो डेवऑप्स के बाद मैं वेब डेव स्टार्ट करूंगा. तब तक पापा सीख रहे हैं अभी.
अरे वेरी नाइस. दैट इज सुपर कूल.
Yeah.
तो डैड अभी क्या करते हैं डैड?
He does medical coding.
Oh, got it. Amazing. That is
हाँ.
quite interesting.
ट्रांसक्रिप्शन करते थे पहले, so he shifted to medical coding.
Got it.
So yeah, he has gotten a hang on to the HTML CSS stuff. He's
Got it.
learning that.
Makes sense. That is super cool. सही है. That's good to know.
हाँ.
Cool. Thank you so much.